with that, let's move on and let's talk about an interesting conversation that we've lined up for you today. CNBC-TV18 is entering its 25th year tomorrow. This entire week, we've been speaking to a whole host of top managements in India Inc. And today, we're talking about the top of them all when it comes to the beer industry in India, United Breweries. That stock is on our radar. A bunch of things that have happened. We've had a new leader join in, Vivek Gupta, who's the MD and CEO of the company, joined the company in September itself from Udaan after spending nearly 2 decades in P&G before that as well. Vivek, this is your first media interaction. Thank you so much for joining in. Wish you good luck in the company. And, as you join us as we enter our 25th year, it's been 2 months at the helm for you. Your thoughts on what you've learned about the company so far, your vision for United Breweries, say, in the next couple of years, and if you could, quantify that vision in terms of what your aspirations are, volume growth, revenue growth, market share, margins.
Thank you. And first of all, congratulations for 25 years for CNBC. I've been an audience of yours. I think you've asked a lot of questions in the first thing. I'll just start with, it has been exciting 2 months. I would say the beer category is growing mid to high single digit in India. And we continue to expect the category to grow. There's a huge opportunity. The penetration of beer in India, in urban India, is less than 20%. In rural, the penetration is even low because of the accessibility and availability of beer, because number of outlets who sell beer is very low. So we expect, beer to continue to grow in India. The macroeconomic factors are very, very positive. Urbanization, young population, all these are indicators globally and locally as well for the growth of this segment. So I think my goal is to really lead the category growth in India. As you know, United Breweries, we actually are fortunate to at least delight almost 60% of the consumers in this category. And we continue to expand our lead. We continue to grow the category in India. We continue to bring some great innovation. As you know, we are now part of global Heineken team. So we have great domestic brand like Kingfisher, but we also bring our muscle from the world's largest value share brand Heineken in India. And combination of domestic innovation as well as best-in-class global innovations will mean that consumer will get the best quality beer in India and more variety of beer in India in future. So our focus is to really grow category, grow our market share, delight consumer, work with the regulatory to simplify and ease of doing business on beer, to promote moderate alcohol in India, and to build a great team. That's our key priorities.
Cheers to that, Vivek, and thanks so much for joining in here on the show. Nigel on this side, and I'm one of those who analyzes the numbers and also one of your key clients as well, maybe, from the beer market. So I know my beer. But, the worry is that how do you sell the beer? Today it's got way more competitive than, say, 5-6 years back. And that's resulted in United Breweries losing some market share, particularly in the last 2 to 3 years. My question to you is, if you're expecting the industry to grow at a decent clip, can you outgrow the industry? Where do you see your market share headed? And also, I believe in premium beers, that's where the market share has got eroded a little bit more. So what are you doing out there? Where does the market share move in both these two categories?
Hi, Nigel. You definitely know about the beer. First of all, I would say, the competition is very welcome in this category, especially when the penetration is so low. So the more players entering the category, more we are talking about the beer penetration will grow. And I am delighted that, there are companies who are bringing quality products and, we already have a very strong portfolio. I think you're also right that in the last few months or few years, we have not done extremely well on premium. We have more opportunity to do. But having said that, I would say that we are very focused on growing each of the consumer cohorts. For example, there is an opportunity to have an entry-level beer in economy, because in India, still it's a spirits market that 80-85% consumers drink hard liquor, which we know we want to move towards moderation. So there is an opportunity to have an entry-level beer. There's an opportunity to have a more sessionable, or what you're calling it as a premium beer. There's an opportunity to bring more aspirational beer and global brands in India. So I think from our point of view, we are very geared up for that growth. Our premium business is expecting to grow around 40 to 45% next year. We are bringing a series of innovation. We are doing a lot of work in upgrading our technology, upgrading our quality. And I actually think that as the category grows, and also as an industry, I think we also need a voice to ensure that we continue to engage with the government stakeholders so that we can simplify the availability of beer, we can make it more affordable. So I'm pretty confident that the innovation portfolio we have, the knowledge of beer we have,
Vivek,
the strong muscle we have.
Vivek, just to come in here, you've just taken over, so I want to ask you a forward guidance. But at current reckoning, what is your market share in both, beer segment as well as in the premium beer segment? If you could give us an updated number. And as of now, how much of your revenue comes in from premium?
So our overall market share is in the range of 45 to 46 on the total beer category right now. And for the last couple of quarters, we are doing pretty well on that. On the premium, we are less than 20% market share right now.
Okay. Vivek, hi, good morning. So that's market share, Prashant here. I think what investors want to know is volume growth. How will you drive volume growth? And what is the guidance from here out? I don't know if you saw Bira, which is one of your competitors, they put out a presentation after their second quarter results. Numbers are, industry growth itself is not looking all that great. During COVID and maybe post-COVID, many categories within the beer segment saw a bump. But I think all of that is kind of tapered off. And add to that all of this new competition, sort of new well-funded players who have come in. So can you tell us what is the volume growth target at United Breweries from here?
See, we are seeing a 5 to 7% category growth right now. We declared our results for the last quarter where we showed about a 7% volume growth. We continue to plan to grow higher than the market. That's our plan. I can't give you the specific numbers, but definitely our guidance is to grow faster than the market. And there is definitely an opportunity for us to expand our portfolio, bring more innovation, and continue to drive the fundamentals of the category. Because as you know, the per liter consumption in India is only 2.2 versus global average of 30. So there is enough, opportunity to increase consumption of beer with the users. There is enough opportunity to grow penetration.
Vivek, would you? Sorry, we're not. The idea is not to interrupt, but we have limited time. Would you aggressively bring global brands from the Heineken global portfolio? I mean, are we going to see a slew of product launches here?
We just recently launched Heineken Silver Draft Beer in Mumbai, which is one of the best beer in India. So we continue to bring the best innovation in India.
Right. You did speak about wanting to grow faster than the market. 5 to 7% is what the category is growing at in terms of volumes. Last quarter, you grew 7% in an overall volumes. Premium grew at around 10%. Let's break that down for us as well. How much do you expect the popular volumes to grow by? How much do you expect the premium volumes to grow by? And as a proportion of your sales, how much would premium be as a contributor going forward? What's your target here?
So as I said, our first focus is to really drive category growth and grow overall shares in the market. I think I'm less worried about the mix of premium and the economy. I think having said that, based on our innovation portfolio, we expect premium to grow much faster than the economy and mainstream segment.
So what is your revenue mix right now? How much comes in from premium? How much is from popular? And how much is from, how much do you anticipate coming in from the foreign brands?
So we are right now, our 85% of the volumes come from the mainstream and popular, and around 15% of our revenue comes from premium.
Okay. All right. Vivek, let's talk about margins then. There were two problems for you in the last few months. One is that barley prices had spiked up, which have now declined by close to 30%. So that's good news for you. And the second factor was, input costs like glass and other inputs. Well, they had spiked up, but now I believe they're stabilizing. So where does your gross margin head from here? I was looking at it in the last few quarters. It's come down drastically. From I think 50% plus, it's come to sub 45%. So what kind of improvement can we see? And is the worst of gross margin and EBITDA margin pressure behind you?
I won't say the worst is behind us, but you're absolutely right. We had significant headwinds on barley pricing and barley supplies. We expect this to cool down. We expect this to be more stable. Even on the glass prices, there is an availability challenge. but we're also working with the manufacturers there. So we expect the margins to improve, but we also want to reinvest in the business. As I mentioned, our primary goal is to drive category growth in a very competitive environment. So you definitely see a progression on our gross margin increase, but we are still operating in a very volatile world.
Vivek, sorry, just to come back to that volume question, margins, of course, I mean, you will get this tailwind of lower input prices, etc. You said industry growth is 7%. You aim to do at least 10%?
We want to do faster than the industry.
But how much faster? What will you be able to? What do you kind of, you must have set internal goals. I mean, if you can give us a broad ballpark idea, what should we expect?
As I again said, I think one of the impact we don't know is about the general elections in 2024.
Exactly.
And we are doing that assessment. So that's why I can't give you an exact number, but our focus is to still grow market share in India next year, which is to grow faster than the category. So we'll understand where election impact comes in the season.
And that actually brings us to an important regulatory question as well. I mean, Telangana was facing supply capacity constraints during the peak season. Volumes in the first quarter, of course, for you were impacted by lower interstate sales as well. All of that anniversarizes in the third quarter. And I believe, the industry itself, the representation went to the government of Maharashtra too, to consider reduction of excise duty on beer. I wanted your thoughts on how you view the regulatory environment in the next 6 months, given the state elections have just happened. There is a central election. In light of that, how does demand pan out?
I would say that we continue to work with various state governments because as you see that state by state, the regulations on industry are different. We continue to work with them and share the opportunity of why we should have a moderation beer. So I think we are seeing very positive engagement with many governments, but it's more work to do. And we continue to advocate for low taxation on beer, more availability of beer. And I don't think it will change dramatically over the next 6 months, but we'll continue to see the progress.
And on your margins itself, you said that while gross margins will grow higher, you will reinvest them back into, category growth and growing your market share, etc. So EBITDA margins, how much below will you not go? I mean, the first half of this year is 10%. In the past, you've done around 17, 18% margins as well. So what is the band that you will be comfortable with?
I think our idea is to drive profitable growth. So we'll have a sequential progress on our margins. We will not go with extremes, but we'll continue to show the progress on both gross margins as well as EBITDA.
So a couple of 100 basis points improvement possible from here, say in the next 6 months. By the end of this year, can margins improve by around 200 basis points? You're going to grow faster. Input costs have cooled off. Focus on premiumization. Put all this together, 150, 200 basis points improvement possible by quarter 4?
I think everything is possible, but we have to continue to execute the plan.
But that's your target?
I always work on stretch targets.
All right, we'll do that.
Cheers to that.
Well, Vivek, thank you so much for joining in, giving us your outlook for the business. Unfortunately, my goal here is to just analyze these numbers. Like my colleagues here, I haven't tried the product. I'm a teetotaler here, but cheers to you. And what I can say is that if you're not drinking, then perhaps you're objectively looking at the numbers, a little more reading the labels as well.
Vivek, I'm looking at the numbers.
But you can 0-0.
We will talk about that later because it doesn't particularly taste very good, does it?
I think it needs a longer conversation.
Yes.
I
don't know, Vivek, at 9:30 a.m. if I can relate to Mangalam about how good it tastes, but that for another day. Thanks so much for joining in. Appreciate you giving us your inputs and your outlook as well with regard to the company.